Hello students, myself Binti Rai. Today I am going to teach you class science, class 7 subject science, rest portion, whatever was left. Let's see, this is how nutrients are replenished in the soil. This replenished is new word for you. So first of all you should know what is replenished. See, replenished means mixed, okay, to fill up or to mix anything in any other things, okay. Now see how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Meant to say, in this paragraph we study how nutrients mixed in the soil. Have you seen farmers spreading manure and fertilizers in the field, or gardeners using them in lawns or in pots, okay. Do you know why this is done? You learned that plants absorb mineral and nutrients from the soil, so their amount in the soil keep on declining. Fertilizers and manures contain nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, etc. These nutrients need to be added from the time to time to enrich the soil. See, you already have seen, when you go outside, then you must have seen that farmers using manures and fertilizer in the field, okay. Why they are using this? Time to time they put manures in the soil, because our plants take manures and nutrients from the soil. Already I taught you in previous classes, plants need manures and nutrients, so they fulfill this from the soil. Their amounts in the soil keep on declining, and declining is also new word. This is the nearing to end, means when farmers put these nutrients in soil, then plants take that amount and help in declining this manures in the soil. So fertilizers and manures contain nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, etc. These manures are completed by nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. These are nutrients. These nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil, and it makes the soil enrich. We can grow plants and keep them healthy if we can fulfill the nutrients requirement of plants. And already I told you, plants, for the proper growth of plants, then we should fulfill all their requirement of nutrients. Usually crop plants absorb a lot of nitrogen, and soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. Not only trees need nitrogen, mainly crops means plant which are grow on the large land together, that they are called crops. So mainly crops need too much nitrogen, that's why their soil becomes deficient in nitrogen, okay. Their soil becomes deficient because crops are present in a very large amount, and they take too much nitrogen, that after a few times their soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. You learned that though nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, plant cannot use it in this manner, so they can use only carbon dioxide. And we know already nitrogen are present in our atmosphere, but plant cannot use this nitrogen in gas stage. Only they take carbon dioxide from our atmosphere. They need nitrogen in soluble form. Sorry, they need nitrogen in soluble form. So how they get this soluble nitrogen? Already I taught you, one bacteria is present in our soil, and they convert this nitrogen into the usable form. Here their name also given, that bacteria is called rhizobium, okay. That bacteria which present in soil is called rhizobium. But rhizobium cannot make its own food, so it is often lives in root of grounds, peas, moons, beans, and other legumes. Okay, our rhizobium bacteria cannot make their own food, that's why, and cannot make their own food, so it present in the root of gram, peas, moons, beans, and other legumes. Legumes means you can consider the pulses. Okay, these are types of and kind of pulses. So our rhizobium bacteria are present in the root of pulses, and this provide them with, and this rhizobium provide nitrogen to leguminous plant, and in return this plant provide food and shelter to the rhizobium bacteria. And what relationship is this? These are called symbiosis relationship. In earlier class already I taught about symbiosis relationship. They thus have a symbiotic relationship. Yes, this is called the symbiotic relationship. This association is of great significance for the farmers, and this will be very good for our farmers. They don't need to add too much nitrogen in this type of leguminous plant, because with this symbiotic relationship they complete their requirement of each others, so that is good for our farmers. Plants are grown. Most of the pulses are obtained from leguminous plants. Okay, in this chapter you learned that most of the plants are autotrophs. Yes, most of the plants are autotrophs. Only a few plants are parasitic or saprotrophs. I taught you in earlier class autotrophs, about autotrophs and parasitic and saprotrophs. Again in short, I am telling autotrophs means the plant which can make their food by themselves, and parasitic, the plants which depend on the other for requiring their and for fulfilling their requirement. And saprotrophs also is called the plants which depend on others. Okay, they derive nutrients from other organisms. All animals are categorized as a heterotroph since they depend on plants and other animals for food. And also animals are categorized as a heterotrophs because they cannot make their food by themselves. They depend on plants and other animals. Can we say that insectivorous plants are partially heterotrophs? Yes, of course, we can say insectivorous plants are also partially heterotrophs because they complete the photosynthesis process, but still they digest insect. Okay, but still they digest insect to fulfilling their requirements. That's why it is also called partially heterotrophs. Okay, dear students, your chapter is completed today. Now in next video I will teach you about some difficult word. I will explain and I will define again this difficult words, and about exercise which I teach you. Okay, thank you.